The wrestling world was in turmoil, and King Kong Brody was on the roof of the Checker Dome in St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, I'm King Kong Brody, and I'll be at the Checker Dome August 19th.
Volkov and Brody out on the floor. Volkov. Brody grabs him. Oh, look out!
It was 1983 and wrestling was slipping into chaos, but we tried to hold St. Louis together in the grand tradition of promoter Sam Muchnick. Hello, I'm Larry Matisick, and this is Volume 9 of Classic St. Louis Wrestling. The National Wrestling Alliance was basically collapsing. Sam Muchnick had retired, and Vince McMahon and the World Wrestling Federation had not yet come into power throughout the wrestling world. But here in St. Louis, we had plenty of action because we had some big stars, established names like Dick Murdoch and King Kong Brody and Spike Huber. And we had some growing stars, people like the Freebird, Terry Gardy, like Macho Man Randy Savage. Let's get started and take a look at some of the names that brought excitement to St. Louis in 1983.
Introducing from Los Angeles, California, weighing 250 pounds, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. From Pensacola, Florida, weighing 225 pounds, Ted Allen. Referee, Ted Warren.
Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Is there any bigger star? There are some as big, but I don't think you find too many bigger. And it's certainly a great honor to have Tony Atlas here on St. Louis Wrestling. Atlas, of course, did win the Mr. USA bodybuilding contest. It doesn't take you long looking at him to know why. That man has muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. What a powerhouse. Ted Allen goes behind him. He looks like you with your coat off, Mick.
Was in St. Louis not long ago, and the big 3-0, St. Louis Wrestling Enterprise brings you Mr. USA, and boy, we've got him here in St. Louis.
To say the least. Mickey saw those muscles on Tony Atlas. He says, man, I'm going to take him down to Pietro's with me. He can carry the trays or help me out. He can do anything he wants. He can own the restaurant. He probably could.
Boy, he can give us another dining room.
What a great career Tony Atlas has had. Full Nelson by Ted Allen on Tony Atlas. I don't know if this is a very good idea on Mr. Allen's part. Look at those muscles bulge. Tony Atlas breaking free. Oh, yes. Nothing the referee can do to help Ted Allen there. Tony Atlas. Ted Allen has a real problem here. Not that it can't be conquered. Nobody is indestructible. Everybody can be beaten. Professor Toru Tanaka saying that about King Kong Brody. He's pointed out before, he says everybody in St. Louis, everybody in the world, they think that King Kong Brody is indestructible. But Professor Toru Tanaka, and you know what's happened between them before, Professor Toru Tanaka intends to prove to everybody in the wrestling world next Friday night at the Checker Dome that King Kong Brody cannot be beaten but destroyed. He intends to use those chops and those kicks on King Kong Brody. But you know King Kong Brody. Somebody says, hey, let's fight. Brody doesn't back up. Not from anybody. One of the things that has often goaded and has often bothered King Kong Brody over the years, and particularly in recent months, is the fact that he felt people were trying to bury him in tag matches and not give him the opportunities that he deserved. But certainly against Toru Tanaka, an international star, he has that opportunity to prove that he can take on anyone. He has a caliber opponent that he wants. He'll have plenty of people here that'll give him a tough battle. So King Kong Brody certainly has his work cut out, most particularly next Friday night at the Checker Dome against Professor Toru Tanaka. The referee dives in, gets a count of 1 on Ted Allen. The arm stretched by Tony Atlas. That Atlas, what an impressive-looking athlete. Certainly a case where a picture's worth 1,001 words. Whoa! Ted Allen bench press right off and nearly out of the ring. He comes in angry. Oh, and he gouges the eyes of Tony Atlas. Ted Allen going after the eyes of Tony Atlas. Atlas staggered, blinded. Ted Allen pounding on that muscular back of Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Allen flails away, but Atlas fighting back. Tony Atlas Atlas drops Ted Allen. A double punch. Tony Atlas puts Allen down. Headbutt by Tony Atlas on Ted Allen. Flying elbow drop by Atlas. Giant headbutt rather, to the side, and I have to tell you, Ted Allen, they learned that if it comes to a fight, Tony Atlas has some answers himself. Atlas slams Allen's head into the turnbuckle. Tony Atlas going up on the second rope. Look out below. Flying headbutt by Tony Atlas on Ted Allen. Tony Atlas grabs Allen. Uh-oh. Look out below. Giant body slam by Tony Atlas to the air. Giant splash by Atlas. Atlas covers Allen, and Mr. USA has a victory. Tony Atlas, the giant slam and the giant splash. What an impressive victory by Tony Atlas. Let's make it official and hear from Mickey Garagiola.
In 4 minutes and 29 seconds with a giant splash, the winner, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Introducing from Tijuana, Mexico, weighing 223 pounds, Jesse Ortega. And from New York, weighing 262 pounds, the owner of the gold belt, Adrian Adonis. Referee, Eddie Smith.
Adrian Adonis takes on Jesse Ortega. Ortega, quick and fast. Adrian Adonis wearing that gold belt he won in Houston, Texas, May 21st, a grueling one-night tournament. All of the world title claimants were invited to that tournament. Some didn't come. A lot of top wrestlers were there, including Terry Funk and Wahoo McDaniel and Cowboy Bob Orton. But Adrian Adonis was the man who emerged on top. Nice arm drag by Jesse Ortega. Adrian Adonis, much underrated as a scientific wrestler. He's tough, hard. The streets of New York City. He knows what it takes to get on top. It's not easy. Life gets a little tough up there, and Adrian Adonis knows it better than anybody. Think of his recent battle with Spike Huber. Oh, Adonis driving the man's shoulder right into the mat. Adrian Adonis powering the man forward so his shoulder took the full brunt of that fall. A hard chop by Adrian Adonis, the man who wears the gold belt. Come and get it, and there is that gold belt. It says World Heavyweight Champion right on the top. That's what Adonis wears. And that's open to challenge from anyone. Adrian Adonis hooking the arm of Jesse Ortega. Ortega trying to come up. Adonis knows how to use his body. He can be phenomenal, some of the things he will do with that body. He's using it as a weapon, throwing it into the air. Eddie Smith, the referee, getting in close to check with Jesse Ortega. Will you give up? Ortega says no. Look how securely Adonis has Ortega locked. That shoulder really locked and pulled. Ortega gets to his feet. Down he goes. Oh, Adonis blatantly abusing the rule book to throw the man down, knowing the referee would break the hold, so he kept his hand off the arm and then quickly went back into the double wrist lock. Ortega, what's he doing? Headstand. Whoop, Adonis takes a look. Bridge by Ortega. Nice move by Jesse Ortega. Yes, sir. Came up nicely. Nice counter into the hammerlock. And Mr. Adonis has just been served. Adonis popping Ortega right in the midsection. This guy can do it. He can go and get it. Adrian Adonis. Elbow smash sends him flying. One time Adrian Adonis was part of the World Tag Team Championship claimants. He headlined cards in New York's Madison Square Garden, at the Boston Guards, in Minneapolis. Kicking up and a little look of disgust on the face of Adrian Adonis. I think he thought that Ortega was finished there. Coil of a strong. What is it about left?
I tell you, they throw a mean left, that's for sure.
At him. I'm not picking on you.
We got him.
Flying. Ortega. Down. Drop. Body. His ability in the Joseph of Giarios.
Guerrero. 242 pounds.
Junior and Ray. Chavo Guerrero, you should know that name well in St. Louis Hawk. And it was get on the phone. Oh. And I guess he really didn't do Savage, a very controversial person. He is the owner of the ICW World Heavyweight title. There is that belt. Defended mainly in the southern area. World title, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Denver, Salt Lake City, San Francisco. Then you have the World Wrestling Federation title. New York, Boston, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, up and down the East Coast. And then, of course, the NWA title. People the likes of Dick Murdoch and Jerry Oates. When you have Tully Blanchard and Spike Akil, Terry Gordy, and Dominic Deneau, mother and daughter team. That's an autumn wrestling spectacular, and you're going to have excitement from the first bell to the last. Guaranteed. Friday, Kiel. Hammerlock by Chavo Guerrero on Butcher Salvicio. Chavo Guerrero punishing the arm. Chavo pulling back on that arm again. Tiger Conway. He's running back once more. Butcher Salvicio, left arm really taking a beating from Tiger Conway Jr. Tiger brings Salvicio up by the arm, twisting it around. Salvicio flung into the corner by Tiger Conway Jr. Oh, did he take a whack in that corner? Double wrist lock by Tiger Conway Jr. up into the hammerlock. Tiger had some damage on his home. He lives in Houston, Texas, and when that big hurricane came through there, he lost the roof, had a flooded basement. He says, but I'm happy. He says, a lot of table for Chavo Guerrero. And Randy Savage getting more and more upset that he can't get in that ring. Monkey flip on the 335-pounder by Chavo Guerrero. Chavo rides Salvicio down and keeps it from getting to Randy Savage. That Randy Savage has a temper like a volcano. Tiger Conway trying to rock those ropes and throw Randy Savage off the top. They're going to be looking at each other in that six-man tag match next Friday. So will Casey and Mansfield.
I'd say this Conway and Randy, there's no love there. You remember that one time when they were tag team partners and old Randy never did want to come in.
It fell apart. It just fell apart, and neither man's ever forgotten it. Savage misses the knee! Savage misses the knee drop! Drop kick by Chavo Guerrero! Chavo whips Savage into the corner. Tag made to Tiger Conway. Well, here's what they both want. Conway and Savage. Savage hurled to the ropes. Oh! Did you see that? Good thing there's a high roof in the Arena Sports Studio. Count of one before Savage gets the shoulder up. Savage slammed into the corner. Oh, Conway misses. Caught himself before he hit the post, but he really ripped his arm on the second turnbuckle. Here's an opening for Savage.
2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
Suplex by Randy Savage on Tiger Conway Jr. Count of one, Savage. Thrown off by Tiger Jr. Tag made to Butcher Salvicio. Time fast running out. It's most falls to curfew. Salvicio clubs Conway in the back. Conway and Salvicio. Hook, Tiger Conway. He's not afraid of that big man, is he? He's not afraid of anything. Salvicio looking for an exit. He ends up in the wrong corner. Salvicio to the ropes. Double backflip. And Tiger Conway Jr. Salvicio to his feet. Drop kick right to the nose. Drop kick right to the head. Chavo Guerrero flying in the air. A whirling kick into the rib cage. Chavo Guerrero, steamroller. The steamroller, shades of Edouard Carpentier. There's the count of three. And that's all the time I think we're going to have in curfew. But we still got to pull apart Savage and Conway. Savage and Conway ended. We're out of time as far as the curfew's concerned. That means Chavo Guerrero and Tiger Conway are going to be the winners. Guerrero's telling the referees, let them alone, let them fight. Lee Warren trying to get in there and pull Conway and Savage apart.
Introducing from Sarasota, Florida, weighing 242 pounds, Randy Savage. From St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 260 pounds, Jason Reeves.
Randy Savage, the ICW World Champion, tangles with Jason Reeves of St. Louis, Missouri. And Scott Casey's with us here at ringside and commenting on Randy Savage, a really high-strung individual.
He really is. He's very hyper, and he looked like he just got out of the Rose Bowl parade with that gown he's got on. But he's an excellent athlete. You can tell by his body. There's a lot of controversy to him.
Always has been and probably always will be.
I tell you what, Jason did a good thing then because he backed him in the corner. He got him off his feet. Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoop, Reeves reverses that nicely.
Reversal, very good. Excellent move.
Scott, you've been around Jason Reeves a little bit here in St. Louis, a young wrestler. Really just getting his feet wet. It's a tough road to hoe.
And I'll tell you what, the first 3 or 4 years, it'll feel like mass confusion for him. He's got a headlock locked pretty tight on there. He's a big man. He looks like he's around 6'4" or 5", about 250, 245 maybe.
And he played high school basketball right here in St. Louis, McClure High School.
Is that right?
Good athlete, then got into powerlifting.
Yeah, you can tell by his body that he's done a lot of lifting. Both of these men are bodybuilders. Whoa. You could hear that one all the way over here.
Flying mare by Randy Savage on Jason Reeves, and he yanks the head back on Jason Reeves. Get Tiger Conway. Well, you know about that, Scott.
That's right, that's right. I don't think he really wants Tiger in there right now.
Got his hands full with Jason Reeves, and you can see exactly how tightly Jason Reeves is gripped by Randy Savage.
It's like a reverse chin lock he's got on him, and he's applying pressure. He's put his head on top of Jason's and applying pressure to cut that hair off.
Good point by Scott Casey there. That subtle little move again.
That's
right.
right.
You can look at it, but you don't feel it.
That's absolutely right. Unless you're in there, unless you've had it put on you, you never know.
How many people have sat and watched the man and said, well, why doesn't this guy do that? Or why doesn't that guy do that? Well, that guy's been up there getting beat up for 11 minutes. He's tired.
You're absolutely right, Larry.
Savage, a lot of strength right there by Randy Savage. Body slam on big Jason Reeves. Savage up on the second rope. Whoa, look out below. Diving elbow smash by Randy Savage. The referee indicating it was on the throat, not into the windpipe.
Now, you know, to me, Larry, that's uncalled for. He had the man beat, then he picks him up off the mat. I mean, I'm a competitor, he's a competitor, and I think some of them have a sadistic tendency, and I believe this Randy Savage has that because he had the man down, and then he picks him up just to punish him some more. And to me, that's wrong, but that's pro wrestling. That's the way it goes.
I agree with you. It's one of those things like any other sport or any other business. There's some things you don't necessarily like or you don't agree with, but you got to live with them. You do it when you got in.
And like you said before, he is a controversial type of wrestler. He calls himself the Macho Man. I'm not so sure about that, but I'd like to see if he could do that with Tiger Conway Jr. I don't think he could.
Or with you?
Well, I hope not.
I guess in talking with Scott Casey, I can feel safe that at this point, Scott Casey's open to any and all comers. Eddie Mansfield's a name that comes to mind rather
Absolutely.
rapidly.
Yes, every time I meet up with Eddie Mansfield, I've wrestled him across the world, and there's no love lost between the two of us. And like you say back home, I'd love to stomp a mud hole in him, and maybe I will before it's over.
Another name that comes to mind, who's just starting to make his mark in the St. Louis area, one of the fabulous Freebirds, Big Terry Gardy. I know you've seen him a lot.
I've seen Terry a lot. I've never wrestled a man. I know he's about 270 pounds, and I'd love to take him on.
Randy Savage dropping an elbow into Jason Reeves. Reeves had some things going his way at the start, but now it's kind of turned sour for Jason.
Yep. Big elbow, and he picks him up again. You know, Randy Savage kind of reminds me of that Charlie Manson. He's got that same kind of look in his eye, and he even looks a little bit like him.
You know, I see that happen. I saw it happen during the reign of Sam Muchnick as promoter, and sometimes I wonder if the guy thinks he's trying to make an impression on the promoter. He's not.
No,
he's not.
He's just a vicious man, and maybe this is the way he takes his anger out. But like I said before, wait a minute.
Look out.
Pile driver.
Look out,
If he lifts those legs up, he's bouncing with him now.
Oh! What a pile driver. Wow. Randy Savage covers Jason Reeves with a pile driver. Oh, that was a devastating pile driver.
It looked like he shortened his height by about 2 inches then.
Yeah, Jason is going to definitely be not playing too much basketball this week, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
And he wants that belt back, the ICW World title. Tell Brody and tell Casey. Yeah, we'll tell them. I'm sure they'll hear. Let's go to Mickey Garagiola.
In 4 minutes and 29 seconds, the pile driver, the winner, Randy Savage.
Here's another look at that pile driver. You can see Savage has a man totally vulnerable, completely off his feet, and that head coming in there first. Oh, brother.
With a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Pensacola, Florida, weighing 284 pounds, fabulous Freebird Terry Gordy. From Tampa, Florida, weighing 238 pounds, Eddie Mansfield. From Houston, Texas, weighing 222 pounds, Tom Pritchard. From Indianapolis, Indiana, weighing 236 pounds, Spike Hubert. Referee Lee Warren, Eddie Smith.
That meets Spike Huber and Tom Pritchard. Mansfield, not exactly a Freebird, but I think he wouldn't mind being, and he has a Freebird as a partner against Huber and Pritchard. Gardy starting out against the man who never quits, Spike Huber. Side headlock by Huber on the Freebird, Terry Gardy. Spike may give away size, but he'll never give away fire. Gardy taken over the hip by Spike Huber. You notice how Gardy quickly got back over on his knees. He didn't stay on his back. Oh, Gardy slams Huber head first into the top turnbuckle, and Huber returns the favor on Terry Gardy. Huber squeezing the head of Gordy. Whoa, Terry Gordy bangs an elbow into the head of Spike Huber. Eddie Mansfield up on the second rope, and he comes into the ring with a punch to the neck of Spike Huber. Mansfield tries to whip Huber. Huber reverses that whip. And Huber then makes a tag with Tom Pritchard. Pritchard hits the ropes. Elbow smash into the arm of Eddie Mansfield. Mansfield crying out. Headbutt by Mansfield on Pritchard, but Pritchard hangs on. A second headbutt, and the game-determined Tom Pritchard hangs on. Pritchard thrown into the corner, and Terry Gordy got that knee up too. Gordy and Mansfield double teaming Tom Pritchard. They whip him to the ropes. Gordy with a drop kick. Oh, did you see that? Fantastic. A 285-pound man in the air for a drop kick. Oh, that was shades of King Kong Brody right there. Pritchard fighting back against the Freebird. Drop kick by Pritchard sends Gordy down. A kick into the stomach. Man, Gordy, oh, he's tough. He's tough. Pritchard slammed head first into the knee up Mansfield. I can't get over that drop kick of Terry Gordy's. They have a drop kicking contest with King Kong Brody and Terry Gordy, the drop kicks of the Giants. Mansfield drops Pritchard with an elbow. Mansfield a punch to the head of Tom Pritchard. Pritchard tries to get the spike, but Mansfield stops him. Pritchard kicks those shoulders up. Mansfield trying to press him, but Pritchard far too spunky, far too tough for that. Pritchard trying to fight his way out of trouble. Mansfield a chop. Or was it a punch into the throat? And Mansfield's getting to be a little bit of a pain in the neck, isn't he, in that ring? He won't get out of there again.
No, he won't.
The referees have their hands full at the Freebird and Eddie Mansfield. There's Gordy with a big body slam on Tom Pritchard. Gordy bangs the forearm into the face of Pritchard. Count of one, Spike Huber there to the rescue. I don't know if it would have been necessary, though. Pritchard thrown into the ropes by Terry Gordy. Pritchard thrown through the ropes by Gordy. Gordy going outside the ring after Tom Pritchard. Spike Huber trying to get to the referee, chasing him back. Oh, Gordy picks up Pritchard, slams him on the cement floor. Terry Gordy, the fabulous Freebird, body slamming Tom Pritchard on the cement floor. Well, that's the way Mr. Gordy wants to fight. Sure, Spike Huber Pritchard will be happy to oblige him. There's some other people in this town who'll be happy to too. Gordy stopping on Pritchard. Terry Gordy ripping into Tom Pritchard, the Freebird. Oh, he's on a rampage. Look at those eyes bugging out. Pritchard taking his lumps from Terry Gordy. The Freebird slams the head into the top turnbuckle. Again, the head slammed into the top turnbuckle. Again. Tag made to Eddie Mansfield. Gordy slow to get out. He's a master of tag team wrestling after all those battles he's had with Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts as partners. Backbreaker by Mansfield on Pritchard. Mansfield trying to tie up the head. Pritchard fighting his way out of it. Tommy Pritchard showing a lot of guts right there. He fought his way out of it. Gets the Spike Huber. Hey, Pritchard showed us something there. And he hangs in there with Huber. Mansfield rammed into Pritchard. Huber pops Mansfield right in the head.
Five minutes elapsed, 10 minutes left.
Terry Gordy paces the apron. T and Eddie Mansfield against Spike Huber and Tom Pritchard. Pritchard showed us a lot of toughness. He was in real trouble. Fought his way out of it and got to his fresh partner. Huber tying up with a hammerlock and also hooking the head on Eddie Mansfield. Mansfield reaching up for the arm of Spike Huber. Mansfield coming out. Huber, though, outmaneuvers him and hooks the arm again. Nice wrestling by Spike Huber. Huber with a wrist lock on Mansfield. Mansfield went to the eyes. And then he slams Spike Huber into the top turnbuckle. Here comes the Freebird. No love lost here. Gardy and Huber. Mansfield. Boy, I tell you, he takes every inch, every bit he can get. Gardy grabs Huber right by the throat. Terry Gardy grabbing Spike Huber right by the throat. Spike Huber trapped in the corner. Here comes Gardy charging off the rope. He misses! Oh, Gardy missed the nail. It's all Huber says, you want a piece? I'll give you a piece. Huber puts Gardy to the ropes. Oh, and Gardy comes off with a kick to Spike Huber. Huber pitched out of the ring by Terry Gardy. Mansfield out of the floor after Huber. Mansfield lifting Huber, and he slams him on that floor outside the ring. Pritchard coming to the rescue, and Huber, he's after Mansfield. Look out! Mansfield hoisted by Huber and slammed on that floor. You want to mess with Huber? That's what you'll get. Huber started it, but Spike ran right into trouble because Gardy was there waiting. He has Spike suspended and a suplex. Eddie Mansfield a bit the worse for wear. Look at Gardy stomping around like a wild man. This is turning into a Donnybrook. Gardy drives a punch into the neck of Spike Huber. Terry Gardy covering Huber. Huber kicks away. This crowd standing, screaming for Huber and Pritchard. Gardy with a punch to the head of Spike Huber. Gardy lifts Huber, one arm, body slam. There's so many things like Brody, you got to think about Brody when you look at Gardy. Gardy, knee drop to the head of Spike Huber. Bet Mansfield will be thinking about Spike Huber after what happened to him when he started a fight outside the floor and Spike gave Mansfield more than he bargained for. But that big, tough, mean Freebird, Terry Gardy hanging in there. Count of one, count of two, Huber kicks out. Tag made to Eddie Mansfield. Huber whipped to the ropes by Mansfield. Oh, Mansfield clotheslines Huber. Mansfield covering Huber. No, he's not sure he can get that tough guy down. Slams a fist in the head of Huber. How do you like it? Says Mansfield, and Huber gets away. Oh, I think Mansfield's surprised right now. A chop into the throat by Mansfield on Huber. Huber pushed into that corner by Mansfield. Gardy strangling Huber from outside. Here comes Pritchard. Pritchard's after Mansfield. Pritchard pounding on Mansfield. Huber trying to get to Pritchard. He needs a tag. He's been double teamed a couple of times after that battle on the floor with the Continental Lover, Eddie Mansfield. Mansfield smothering Huber. Tag made to Terry Gardy. Here comes the big Freebird. Oh, Mansfield, they're having a terrible time keeping Mansfield out of that ring, and he is really flirting with trouble on his qualification. Gardy whips Huber to the ropes, catches him coming off of the forearm. That blow was legal, but it was effective too. A lot of what Terry Gardy does is legal. It's just hard and tough. Huber gets away. In goes to Tommy Pritchard. Pritchard comes in. Oh, he comes in hot and firing. Pritchard pounding on the Freebird. Here comes Mansfield. The referee chasing back. Gardy's hurled into the corner. Oh, and catches a boot right underneath the chin.
10 minutes have elapsed, 5 minutes left.
Oh, Gardy missed. Drop kick. Tag made to Eddie Mansfield. Pritchard's right on top of Mansfield. Pritchard and Mansfield toe-to-toe. Pritchard reverses the whip. Mansfield misses the kick. Pritchard. Oh, that inside reverse step over toe. That could be it. Here comes Gardy. Oh, and Gardy drives a fist into the throat of Tom Pritchard. Pritchard had Mansfield there. Drop kick by Huber knocks Gardy through the ropes. Huber trying to get at Gardy. Pritchard whipped to the ropes. Hits the... Oh! Gardy nailed Pritchard with a knee right to the kidney area. Mansfield groggy. Throws up the second rope. Huber looking. Spike Huber doesn't know what happened. He doesn't realize that Gardy from outside the ring drove a knee into the back of Tommy Pritchard. Pritchard, his nose bleeding. Boy, that kid's got some toughness, got some fire. He's showing you something right there. Pritchard coming up slowly. The crowd chanting, cheering for Pritchard and Huber. A dandy match here on St. Louis Wrestling. Reverse neck breaker. Mansfield trying to hold Pritchard down. Pritchard gets the shoulder up. The blood running out of the nose of Tommy Pritchard. And he really had a terrible break when he caught that knee from outside the ring of Terry Gardy. Gardy showing the spike Huber. He's got that thumb. Huber trying to get a Gardy. The referee's chasing him back. There's the spike. There's the Oriental spike. The Oriental spike on Tom Pritchard by Terry Gardy. The Freebird with the spike on Pritchard. Pritchard, the arms getting weak. Huber wanting to get in that ring. Torn between sportsmanship and something else. Here comes Huber. The referees have to stop him. They have no choice. Pritchard down. Gardy strutting aside. Tom Pritchard out in the center of the ring.
3 minutes left. 3 minutes.
The courageous Tom Pritchard out in the middle of that ring after the Oriental spike by Gardy up the second rope. Oh, Gardy driving the forearm into the chest of the unconscious Tom Pritchard. Count of 1, 2, and 3. Gardy and Mansfield win it. A bad break for the courageous Tom Pritchard. He couldn't give you any more than he did. Spike Huber ministering to his partner. Huber has to be burning after that one, but that Terry Gardy, he engineered the whole thing. What a killer he is.
Two fiery talents who sparked a big rivalry in St. Louis in 1983 were Spike Huber and Tully Blanchard, who not much later joined Ric Flair in forming the famous Four Horsemen. Huber and Blanchard ended up in a Texas death match at Kiel Auditorium on October 7th, 1983. The match went 15 falls. That's right, 15 falls before Spike Huber emerged victorious. What happened to lead up to that Texas death match? Well, let's take a look at some of the incidents that led to the death match and keep an eye open for all-time great Lou Thesz as a special referee.
But now let's go back to the Checkerdome, the first ever two-ring battle royal. You can see one ring's already been emptied at the top of your screen. All that is left is Tully Blanchard, Spike Huber in the one ring, Bobby Jaggers you can see in there. All sort of big, large, strong, powerful men battling in that ring, the two-ring battle royal. Up in one corner, one battle going on. There's Nikolai Volkov pitching Spike Huber almost over the... Look at Huber. A backflip back into the ring. Tanaka and Brody have already been eliminated. Huber with a dropkick on Volkov, and Volkov is eliminated by Spike Huber. Outside the ring, you can see King Kong Brody, Professor Toru Tanaka, and Nikolai Volkov all tangled up in a Donnybrook. Meanwhile, left inside, it's Victor Rivera, Bobby Jaggers, Scott Casey, and Spike Huber. The battle's still going on outside the ring, and you can see everybody in the two rings distracted by the Donnybrook on the floor. You can see Brody, Tanaka tangled up with a chair. The referee's trying to restore orders between King Kong Brody and Professor Toru Tanaka, who will be squaring off next Friday at the Checkerdome. So now, here's the situation. 4 men left in one ring. Tully Blanchard, the winner of the first ring, all by himself, waiting for an opponent to determine the winner of the first ever two-ring battle royal. Conferences between Rivera and Jaggers, also between Casey and Spike Huber. Tully Blanchard leaning inside, and he has a few words for Bobby Jaggers. Tully Blanchard very much interested in who might be his opponent. Remember, at the end of a two-ring battle royal, the two survivors from each ring meet under regular conditions. One fall to a finish, regular rules. So what you have here are two very different and very trying situations. Rivera and Jaggers, very careful. Huber, Casey, getting back to back. Rivera, Jaggers circling, looking for an opening, trying to get into either Huber or Casey. Don't forget, Tully Blanchard's waiting in the wings. Jaggers charges and runs right into Victor Rivera. Rivera goes down. Jaggers saying, it's not my fault, I didn't mean to run into you. Huber and Casey, very watchful. Again, Jaggers, Rivera, debating what's the best mode of attack. A kick into the stomach. Casey going after Jaggers. Huber going after Victor Rivera. Rivera slammed head first into the top turnbuckle by Spike Huber. Huber grabs Rivera, rams him into the other corner. Spike Huber yells at Scott Casey, trying to get Casey's attention. When Casey turned his side to look at Spike Huber, Jaggers caught him with a knee to the stomach, and now it's Casey who's been staggered. Rivera, Jaggers doubling up on Spike Huber. Jaggers flailing away at Spike Huber. They grab Huber, throw him through the second rope. No, not over the top rope. Huber still a legal entrant in that ring. He went between the top and the second rope. Huber still belongs in there. Now it's Casey who's in trouble. Jaggers and Rivera double teaming him. They have him up beside the ropes. They're trying to lift him over the top. Casey trying to get his balance. Here comes Spike Huber. He ducks underneath everybody, and all three men going over the top rope, compliments of Spike Huber. Here comes Tully Blanchard, not waiting. One bell ended one match, but it started another. Now this is one fall to a finish. Regular rules, Tully Blanchard and Spike Huber. Huber's moment of glory was very short-lived there after he eliminated three men all by himself. Tully Blanchard pounding on Huber. Tully Blanchard, a man with a lot of confidence, a lot of moxie, a lot of skill, and he knows that winning the first ever two-ring battle royal would be a tremendous feather in his cap. Huber fighting back against Tully Blanchard. Spike Huber pounds Blanchard into the corner. Huber twists the arm, hurls Blanchard across the ring, comes charging in, and Blanchard nails Huber with a big knee lift right to the chin of Spike Huber. Blanchard comes off the second rope with an elbow to the head. Blanchard covers Huber just before the count of two, determines Spike Huber kicking free. Blanchard a body slam, keeping Huber in the center of the ring. Knee drop right to the neck, not on the throat, but the neck. Count of two and almost three before Huber gets away. Tully Blanchard coming just so close to victory in the first ever two-ring battle royal. He pitches Huber through the ropes and into the second ring. The battle spilling out into the second ring between Tully Blanchard and Spike Huber. Tully with a kick to the head. Another bunch, but Spike Huber just never quits. Spike Huber, the man who wants to wear the gold belt next Friday at the Checkerdome against Adrian Adonis. It's Spike Huber pounding on Blanchard. Blanchard bails out, and Huber goes right out after him. Huber going out on the floor after Tully Blanchard, pounding on Blanchard. Huber and Blanchard outside on the floor, trading blows. A wild swing. The atomic knee drop by Spike Huber on Tully Blanchard outside the ring. Blanchard trying to grab the hair of Huber, but Huber shoving Blanchard back into the ring. Spike comes underneath the ropes and catches a knee right in the side. A knee right to the side by Blanchard. Blanchard hooks the head, goes for the suplex. Watch Huber. Beautiful escape. Backslide. The man is down. The count of three, and Spike Huber has won the first ever two-ring battle royal. That's why it's going to be Huber against Adrian Adonis next Friday at the Checkerdome. Spike Huber the winner. Tully Blanchard infuriated. There's the trophy that goes to Spike Huber.
Introducing from San Antonio, Texas, weighing 240 pounds, Tully Blanchard. From Indianapolis, Indiana, weighing 236 pounds, Spike Huber. Your referee, former World Heavyweight Champion, Lou Thesz.
It's Blanchard against Huber. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Last weekend, St. Louis Wrestling, Tully Blanchard slipped past the young man who's become a protege of Spike Huber, Brian Madden. Spike was out here at ringside urging his young friend on, and all Blanchard could do would be rub it in, taunt, try to put some salt into the wound of Spike Huber. And you heard Spike Huber tell us, hey, give me a chance at him. Here's the chance. Of course, they met once before in the finals of a two-ring battle royal. That result came in favor of Spike Huber as Huber pinned Tully Blanchard with a backslide, a brilliant move. Tully Blanchard hasn't forgotten that it was Spike Huber who went home with that giant 4.5-foot trophy, denoting that Spike Huber was the winner of the first ever two-ring battle royal. Huber up quickly. Blanchard retreats to the corner, complains to Lou Thesz. The great Lou Thesz, a native of St. Louis, six-time former world champion, holder of the world heavyweight title when there was little, if any, dispute about who was the champion. A man who held that gold belt 18 years. 18 years. Think of that. Most athletes' careers don't even last half of that, and Thesz was the champion for 18 years. Let anybody try to match that. Tully Blanchard upset. Shouldn't be upset with Lou Thesz. Both men said they wanted a top-notch official. Well, Ed and Lee Warren, Eddie Smith, Mark Schreiner, certainly all excellent referees, but to make sure there was no hint, no complaint, Luthez is available, and Luthez is the third man in the ring for this battle between Huber and Blanchard. You talk about the hardships of professional wrestling. Spike Huber can tell you about him. About 5 years ago, when he was breaking in, he took a body slam, landed on his knee, ripped the quadricep muscle in half, and exploded the thigh muscle. They had to go in, have him show you his knee sometime. They took a cut across the top of the knee where the quadricep is, and they worked up the side where the thigh is. Spike was out of action for several months. He had a cast on his leg from his hip to his ankle, and a lot of people said, Spike, you're never going to wrestle again. Now, Spike's never complained, but right now it's Tully Blanchard who's going to do some complaining as Spike Huber rams that knee right into the midsection of Tully Blanchard, and Blanchard crawls back into that corner. Blanchard knows it. What a boost it would be for the careers of either man to come up with a victory here, Blanchard or Huber. Test of strength. Blanchard, monkey flip. Nicely done. Blanchard comes up over the top, tries to cradle. Huber throws him off headstand. He comes around and right back up on top of Tully Blanchard. Spike Huber, I think if you were going on points by now, Spike would be piling up a bit of a lead. A couple of escapes, a couple of nice moves, a couple of good takedowns, some riding time for Huber. If you want to look at it in that vein, of course, professional wrestling is not that way. It takes a 3 count to win or a submission. And Spike Huber now reaching inside, trying to hook the leg. Grabs the arm. You can see that Tully Blanchard's in no position to pay the check tonight. Huber twisting that arm, trying to get the shoulders down. Rides him down. Blanchard rolling on the inside, going to the leg. He has the leg tied up. Spike tried to sit out, but he couldn't do it because Blanchard had that leg all locked up. Blanchard coming up on top of Huber. Now Huber in a position where he has to struggle to get away. He still has the arm tied up. Nobody wanting to give an inch. It's nose to nose, hard wrestling between Huber and Blanchard. And you start wondering now as each man's trying to feel where there might be a weak spot when one or the other is going to open up and look for that break. Now time starting to wear down each man. A lot of energy expended. It's been grueling, a lot of close leaning, pushing on each other. That's how you wear a man down, with that power leaning into him. Huber leg drop into the bicep of Blanchard. And Tully Blanchard's left arm taking a lot of punishment right now from Spike Huber.
Ten minutes have passed, 5 minutes left.
5 minutes remaining between Tully Blanchard and Spike Huber. Over the last few minutes, it's Huber who's been in command. Huber now with the double wrist lock on Tully Blanchard. Continuing the process of trying to wear down Blanchard. Hammerlock now by Spike Huber on Tully Blanchard. Huber really leaning into it. Spike grabs that wrist, yanks forward, jerking the arm, getting that little extra bit of leverage to yank the arm of Tully Blanchard up behind the back. A kick with the flat of the boot, that's legal, into the shoulder of Blanchard by Huber. Blanchard coming to his feet, trying to find a way to get that arm free from tenacious Spike Huber. One forearm, a second forearm, that one right on the ear. Another forearm by Tully Blanchard. Blanchard lifts Huber high, body slam. Huber hangs on. Spike Huber hanging on with that arm lock despite the body slam of Tully Blanchard. More hard wrestling, and at this point, certainly the last 4 or 5 minutes have belonged to Huber. You have to wonder if Tully isn't going to start getting frustrated and that infamous temper of his starts to get frayed and maybe he does something foolish that could really get him into trouble. And certainly now Spike Huber will have a sore spot, a weak point to attack. That left side of Tully Blanchard is certainly not going to be in the best of shape no matter what happens from here on out. Huber, another leg drop into the bicep of Tully Blanchard. Blanchard rolling around. Luthez has done a good job as the third man in the ring, keeping a close eye on the proceedings. Huber stepping over the head, putting extra pressure into that shoulder.
Three minutes left, 3 minutes.
3 minutes remain between Tully Blanchard and Spike Huber. Blanchard struggling up. Huber trying to hang on that arm. Oh, Blanchard picks Huber up and drives him throat first into the top rope. Tully Blanchard always thinking, taking advantage of the ring, taking advantage of his position, dropping Huber throat first into the top rope, and that might be the break, the opening that Tully Blanchard needed. His left arm's not in the best of shape, but that right elbow certainly right on target to Spike Huber. A knee to the head by Tully Blanchard on Spike Huber, and Huber really probably still reeling from catching that windpipe right on the top cable. Tully Blanchard grabs Huber, slams him head first into the top turnbuckle. Huber sags down to the second rope. Tully Blanchard with an elbow smash into the cheek of Spike Huber. Blanchard grabs Huber, hooks the head, goes beneath him, the suplex. Oh, a big suplex by Tully Blanchard. This could be a count of one. Huber kicks up the man who never, ever quits, Spike Huber. Kicking away despite that suplex. Spike spinning out of the front face lock and into the hammerlock again on Tully Blanchard. Just as we considered might happen, Spike knew there was a weak point he could attack on Blanchard, and it was that arm. Spike lines up Blanchard in that top turnbuckle and slams Blanchard's shoulder into the top buckle. Spike Huber drop kick on the money. Blanchard, this grueling match between Spike Huber and Tully Blanchard, grinding down, and Spike Huber going after all the marbles. Side saddle suplex, a cover. Not even a count of one. Blanchard manages to kick away.
One minute left. 1 minute.
1 minute remaining. Tully Blanchard nearly got a pin on Huber with that small package. Huber with a punch. Huber opening up on Blanchard. Temper's getting frayed here. Body slam by Spike Huber. Huber covers Blanchard. Blanchard kicks free. Only not even a count of one. Thez didn't get even there to make a count of one before Blanchard had that shoulder up. Spike Huber trying to go for the finish. He hoists Blanchard. Atomic knee drop, jamming that spine into his knee. Huber going up in the second rope. Look out below. Oh, Blanchard rolled away. And Huber missed with the giant splash from the second rope. Huber missing, Blanchard covering. This could be it. Count of one, and Huber shoves Blanchard off. Huber gambled, and it nearly backfired on him against Tully Blanchard. Huber hits the ropes. Blanchard going for the abdominal stretch. Huber keeps moving, and Huber gets the abdominal stretch. Huber wouldn't let Tully lock him up in that abdominal stretch. He got one of his own, and Blanchard had to pull the hair. Huber back after Blanchard. Blanchard and Huber still tangled up. The referee trying to make sure that Blanchard and Huber stay separated. A tough, hard, grueling match between Spike Huber and Tully Blanchard. Let's make it official and hear from Mickey Garagiola.
With time running out, referee Luthez declares the match a draw. This match, a six-man tag team match, one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Houston, Texas, weighing 223 pounds, Tom Pritchard. From Abruzzo, Italy, weighing 246 pounds, Dominic Danucci. From Indianapolis, Indiana, weighing 238 pounds, Spike Hubert. From San Antonio, Texas, weighing 240 pounds, Tully Blanchard. From Gloverport, Kentucky, weighing 221 pounds, Eric Embry. And from Dallas, Texas, weighing 260 pounds, Killer Carl Cox. Referee Eddie Smith leaves.
Tully Blanchard jumping Spike Huber right at the bell. Huber and Blanchard right in the middle of the ring. Huber and Blanchard. Huber chases Blanchard out. He's out after him. Huber chasing Blanchard outside the ring. A punch outside the ring misses. A coming knee drop on the floor. Huber grabs Blanchard. Body slam on the cement floor. The referee's coming out to pull Huber off the top of Tully Blanchard. Oh, Spike Huber was attacked from behind by Tully Blanchard. And Huber just went berserk. He pounded Blanchard out of that ring, gave him an atomic knee drop, and then a body slam on the cement floor. No love lost there. And maybe Blanchard thought with a sneak attack, he could do some damage on Spike Huber, and Huber would be the worse for wear for that Texas death match next Friday at Kiel. Instead, it's Tully Blanchard still down on the cement floor. It's a six-man tag match, Killer Carl Cox and Eric Emmett. You started it, Blanchard. Blanchard limping off. Where's Blanchard going? Where's Blanchard? Blanchard's leaving. Tully Blanchard leaving the ring area. Well, that's the problem of Killer Carl Cox and Eric Embry. He wants to leave, he wants to leave. Cox saying, where are you going? Killer Carl Cox saying, come on back. Now he's complaining to the referee about the body slam on the floor. But after all, it's Blanchard who started it. Spike Huber finished it here today. Well, looks like Cox and Eric Embry on their own. Cox outside the ring complaining about that body slam on the cement floor to the referees. Killer Carl Cox, by the way, is the man who broke Dick Murdoch into professional wrestling. That says something about Killer Carl Cox. Looks like we have a handicap tag, 3-on-2. Tom Pritchard, Dominic DeNucci, Spike Huber against Killer Carl Cox and Eric Embry. Well, Mick,
And Tully Blanchard, he copped out. He's gone.
well, he started it. He started the thing. He won't be able to do that next Friday at Kiel, though. Texas Death Match. Spike Huber. Talk to the referees. He started it. I have no sympathy for it. Blanchard started it. Talk about permanently injured. Eric Embry saying he could have permanently injured Blanchard. Well, I think we recall back a few weeks ago when Tully Blanchard came off the top rope onto the knee of Spike Huber. Bell's wrong. Let's go. A lot of arguing going on, and I can understand the dismay of Cox and Eric Embry. They're short a man. Dominic DeNucci ready to go after Killer Carl Cox. At any rate, okay, here's the background of the situation. Go back to July, 2-ring battle royal. It ends up with Spike Huber and Tully Blanchard. Huber gets the trophy, goes home the big winner. Then they're involved in a tag match here on St. Louis Wrestling. A lot of trouble between them. Huber's team emerges victorious. Then Tully Blanchard beats Spike Huber's protege, Brian Madden from Belleville, right in the middle of the ring. And he takes great joy in rubbing that into Spike Huber. Then there's a tag match where Huber and Blanchard are involved. Blanchard comes off the top rope onto the leg of Spike Huber after the match, after everything was over. Brought on Blanchard's disqualification, but it nearly crippled Spike Huber and put him in a bad way for an upcoming bout with Adrian Adonis. Now, more is developed. A tag match on September the 17th when Huber caused Tully Blanchard to fall. The referees didn't see Huber trip Blanchard. And once again, here today, it's broken out. That's why we've signed a Texas death match between Huber and Blanchard. Huber trying to come to the aid of Dominic DeNucci. Embry and Cox trapping DeNucci and pounding on him. A Texas death match. The first one ever in St. Louis was between Whipper Billy Watson and Gene Koniski back in 1961. There have been some great ones. Johnny Valentine and Buddy Austin. Fritz Von Erich and Dick the Bruiser. Well, now it's Huber and Blanchard. Falls don't count.
I guess that's the match you have to make with those two because...
Had no choice. It was getting out of hand.
That's right.
Cox having trouble with Dominic DeNucci. He says, check my teeth. Check my teeth. Embry knocked off the apron by Dominic DeNucci. Will have his hands full next Friday against the Freebird, Terry Gordy. Anyhow, in a Texas death match, let's go over it one more time. For those who aren't familiar, falls don't count. Anything goes. No disqualification. No time limit. Only choking's banned, and the only way we really enforce that, for every incidence of choking, there's a fine levied. That keeps the people from choking. Other than that, anything goes. Want to throw a man over the top rope? Go right ahead. Want to jump off the top rope on somebody? Go right ahead. Huber, Blanchard, this is their chance. They want to hurt each other. That's the only way they can win, because the winner's declared when one man cannot continue.
5 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes left.
Here comes Eric Embry up on the second rope. DeNucci being held by Killer Carl Cox. Cox has the tag rope that he's using on the head of DeNucci. We mentioned Murdoch, of course, in reference to Killer Carl Cox. Cox was a man who broke Murdoch into wrestling, and Murdoch has a big match coming up with Jerry Oates as part of a triple main event.
And there's no love there either.
Oh,
The two of them.
not at all. I don't know where Tully Blanchard is, but I know he's going to be right in the target, right in the sights of Spike Huber in that Texas death match. Cox and DeNucci. Cox pounding on DeNucci. Killer Carl Cox. DeNucci trying to get over and make a tag with either Huber or Tom Pritchard. Here comes Eric Embry. There's that atomic knee drop outside the ring delivered by Huber. You can see Tully Blanchard after he caught his spine on the knee, and now watch Huber lift Blanchard for the body slam on the cement floor. Oh, right on the cement of the arena floor. And Tully Blanchard departed. And now it's 3 against 2. Pritchard, Huber, and DiNucci against Embry and Cox. Embry locking the head. DiNucci, a lot of strength there. He threw Embry over the top. Crawls over to Huber. Spike Huber. Here's the Derek Embry. Embry whipped to the rope. Oh! Did you hear that?
Wow.
Crack right in the cheekbone. Here comes young Tommy Pritchard, a fine young athlete. Look at this. Both men in the ring. Up. Over the top. Pritchard and Huber, a double backdrop. Leg drop by Pritchard. He was as high as the top rope when he was up in that air. Embry fighting back against Pritchard. Into hammerlock. Nice switch around by Pritchard. He goes to the leg. Oh, a karate move, a savate move, really, by Eric Embry as he clubbed Pritchard right in the head. Embry, the whip, reverse. Embry hits the corner. And a savate move by Pritchard. Oh, that made that crowd
How about that
scream.
Pritchard? I'm telling you.
Tommy Pritchard's a big favorite as far as Mickey Garagiola is concerned. This kid's got something that
He came in the back way on that one. That was great.
and he's got color. He's got fire. There's something in this Tommy Pritchard. You gotta like him. DiNucci yelling advice. That's a heck of a six-man combination. The experience of DiNucci, the youthful fire of Tom Pritchard, and the steel heart of Spike Huber. Color Carl Cox puts Pritchard to the ropes, catches him coming off with an elbow. Cox covers Pritchard. Count of 1. Pritchard's free. Dominic DiNucci right there to help in case it was needed. Here comes Eric Embry. Embry pounds on Pritchard. Pritchard fighting right back. Embry grabs Pritchard's tights. Tags Killer Carl Cox. It's 3 against 2 because Tully Blanchard's disappeared for parts unknown.
I tell you, Blanchard comes back in. I think it'll be 5 guys happening. I don't think Carl Cox and Embry has respect for him. No, they don't have no respect.
Tully Blanchard becoming an island onto himself. Cox misses with an uppercut. Whoop! He's over there, Carl. There he is. There he goes. Drop kick by Pritchard. Tag made to Dominic DiNucci, the Italian stallion, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's him, man. That's my man. Boom.
Headbutt by Cox.
Oh,
Whoop.
no way.
Whoop.
No way.
That backfired. That goes Killer Cox. Tag made to Embry. Embry wants to fight. DiNucci says, okay. He knows the Freebird will want to fight. Big Terry Gardy, one of the fabulous Freebirds, the man who says he has the Oriental Spike that was taught to him by Professor Toru Tanaka. We know all about Tanaka here. Something that DiNucci will have to look out for as part of that triple main event on the Autumn Wrestling Spectacular next Friday. Flying Beal by Dominic DiNucci. Embry in the corner. DiNucci, you see that experience. He was careful, but even at that, Embry, a tough young customer, managed to score the kick. DiNucci fights back. Embry with a kick. An elbow smash to the neck. Embry working on the neck of Dominic DiNucci, then a knee lift to DiNucci. Tag made to Killer Carl Cox, but DiNucci's winning. Headbutt by DiNucci. Cox grabs the windpipe. Cox grabs the nose. Killer wanted to be a dentist. Tried to teach that to Dick Murdoch. Murdoch didn't get the idea. Killer's frustrated. He's trying to work on DiNucci in the mouth. Dominic DiNucci flipped up and over the top by Killer Carl Cox. Cox isn't on top for long. DiNucci's been there before. He's been in big matches everywhere, from the Cow Palace to Madison Square Garden.
10 minutes have expired, 5 minutes left.
Dominic DiNucci with the abdominal stretch. Killer Carl Cox in the ring. Oop. DiNucci hit in the head by Cox. I don't know exactly what Cox hit him with, but DiNucci obviously staggered. Oh, a double body slam on Embry by Huber and Pritchard. DiNucci giant splash. DiNucci with the giant splash and Embry, the referee down. Count of 1, 2, 3. Dominic DiNucci making the pin after a double body slam by Pritchard and Huber. So the one shot. Here comes Blanchard. Blanchard after Huber again. Blanchard, a Pearl Harbor attack on Huber. Blanchard and Huber toe-to-toe. Cox helping to double team the man. Huber got away. It's a Donnybrook, Huber and Blanchard. Huber going out after him. There goes Blanchard running again. The referee's trying to restore some order. Tommy Pritchard pulled back into the corner. Spike Huber chase Tully Blanchard right out of the Arena Sports Studio. Oh, is that going to be something when they're in there in a Texas death match? Where's Spike? I think he tried to go after Blanchard in the dressing room.
We're in the wrestling editing suite of Charlie Regal, who's done a fabulous job helping us put together the Wrestling Classic Series. And with me is somebody I've had a lot of questions about, my co-producer, Herb Simmons, finally on camera. Herb, how'd you get involved in wrestling? How'd you get involved with me? It's been so long I don't even remember.
Well, it has been a long time, but I guess the wrestling, I grew up with it. As I told you, growing up as a youngster, we used to sit outside on the nights and watch it. And because it was so hot inside the house, we didn't have air conditioning. Yeah. But it's
the original wrestling at the Chase.
Just like a fan, and then so many people. It was a household name. And of course, I met you, and
your life went downhill ever since.
No, it's been a good ride. And I mean, I remember the night that I was at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds here in Belleville. And you were there in the dressing room and asked me, said, would I be interested in bringing in King Kong Brody? And my knees started shaking. You know, I thought, King Kong Brody coming here to the fairgrounds? And from then it just kind of mushroomed. But, you know, one of the questions, and we've done a lot of talking over the years about the wrestling business,
yes.
And you've really educated me. But one of the things I really don't have a clear vision on is back in 83, 84, when the war was there. What were we doing? Where were you going to be going at that time?
Well, for one thing, from a wrestling standpoint, the National Wrestling Alliance had collapsed. Sam Muchnick had retired, and television was changing. Cable TV was changing the rules of the game. I think that in itself would have made wrestling a different beast today, 2 decades later. I think you would have found, for one thing, maybe not one promotion. Vince McMahon took charge. He ended up with World Wrestling Entertainment, and all the other territory promotions were gone. I don't think territory promotions would have survived anyway because cable TV was so different. But you might have had a situation where there were 3 or 4 promotions, maybe a Jim Crockett or a Fritz Von Erich or a Vern Gagne, somebody like that, maybe me, who knows. We might have all been involved in some form, and there would have been 3 or 4 with lesser high-profile cable outlets and more pay-per-views that wouldn't have drawn quite the number of viewers, of pay-per-view buyers that the WWE does today, simply because they're the only game in town. And that's a shame, because when wrestling was back in the 60s, as you and I were growing up, and so many of the fans, 70s, seeing all this excitement, you had so many different avenues of imagination, so many different ideas about how to promote wrestling, that it really made for a type of situation where we fed on each other and our ideas. One idea made another idea even better. So wrestling would have changed simply because TV changed, television changed, and it would have forced wrestling to change, I think, Herb.
In that same time period when that war was going on, you had started your own promotion. Yes. And it was going along pretty well. You brought in some talent.
We had a lot of good
top
names.
name talents.
Yeah.
I'm talking Spike Huber,
Brody
Tully Blanchard,
Murdoch,
and that's my question. You know, you've got guys like Brody Murdoch. Was there a plan in place where you were going to be going with them, or?
Yes, before the World Wrestling Federation got the TV in St. Louis, and I actually started to work for the World Wrestling Federation, and Vince McMahon. I was with him for roughly 10 years. I had a booking plan laid out, and hopefully it was matches that the folks in St. Louis would have wanted to see. One thing we were going to was Michael Hayes had already agreed to come in, so we were going to have the fabulous Freebirds, Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes, against first King Kong Brody and Spike Huber, and then the odd couple, King Kong Brody and Dick Murdoch, just to see how that tag team would have worked together. It certainly would have been an exciting match, the Freebirds against Brody and Murdoch. David Von Erich had also agreed to come in by that time. Jesse Ventura, who later became the governor of Minnesota, had also agreed to come in. Stan Hansen was due in. We had some guys who had already established themselves, like Adrian Adonis and Spike Huber, as you mentioned. Randy Savage was just coming into his own. We were starting to get confidence in each other. We would have let him fly.
Or, you know, talking about the old days of growing up around it, thanks to you, I was one of the regulars at the Kiel Auditorium and the Checker Dome, and like so many of the diehard fans, as we called ourselves. And I mean, the list goes on. I mean, I was just one person there, but you knew them by the first name basis.
Where would we have been without the fans all those years? St. Louis had great wrestlers, but they also had great fans, and it took both people to make it work. when Sam Muchnick retired, he made a speech from the ring where he talked about none of this could have happened without you, the fans. You have to accept what product, what wrestling, what action we bring to you. And in St. Louis, that happens so often, and the loyalty, the energy, the excitement of being around that ring at Kiel Auditorium or the KPLR studio or the Checker Dome, the energy that you, the fans, brought to that was so special, and I think really, as much as anything else, that helped make St. Louis wrestling so special.
Well, I remember on Sunday afternoons, people would stand in line at the Chase because it was free back then.
It was free, yeah.
Yeah, to get tickets, and they were hoping somebody wouldn't show up where you guys would let them in. And those are diehard fans. I've seen them stand out there in the rain and the snow just to get in to say, hey, I was with Larry Matysek and Mickey Garagiola today.
What we want to do is give the fans who are watching Volume 9 a chance to see the match they couldn't see in 1983 between Brody and Murdoch. Thanks to Herb Simmons and Charlie Regal, we have tape of Tokyo, Japan match between Brody and Murdoch. Both men were superstars in Japan. Why did they have such a grasp on the public back in the 80s here in St. Louis? They were colorful characters. They were dynamic. They were real. That's what Dick Murdoch and King Kong Brody were. Just to refresh your memory, let's first take a look at King Kong Brody doing a commercial in a match, then Dick Murdoch doing an interview in a match, and finally, from Japan, we'll have that battle, the showdown between Brody and Murdoch.
The Eastern boys do have the best deal in town.
Yeah, you get up here, just grab him, hold him.
Let him keep going by, reach out.
You might lose his line. Oh, he's gonna read the whole line, even if you're there. Just
Oh,
run
yeah.
him. He'll keep reading.
Okay.
He's going to be waving or jumping up and down or something to get attention. I'll cue you when he gets right up there. Just as he comes up to you, I'll let you know.
Okay. We're rolling. Stand by. First one's for King Kong.
Hey, I'm King Kong Brody. Nobody can beat me. I know the decent boys over at the New Deal, and the prices can't be beat. How do I know? Because I traveled all over the world wrestling and shopping. Hey! If you don't get the best deal, call me.
Introducing from Santa Fe, New Mexico, weighing 283 pounds, King Kong Brody. From Russia, weighing 318 pounds, Nikolai Volkov. Referee Lee
Hold your hats, folks. King Kong Brody and Nikolai Volkov. I never thought I'd see somebody who could physically dwarf Brody. I think I might be seeing it now. Now look at that chest, that barrel chest on the Russian giant, Nikolai Volkov, outweighing Brody by nearly 35 pounds. Two giants clashing head-on. St. Louis wrestling, the entire mat world watching this one. Brody, Volkov is bullying each other like two big giant bulls head-on in there. Lee Warren, the tough chore tonight. Volkov pounds on Brody, and Brody pounds right back. Oh, Volkov, headbutt to the stomach. That doubled up Brody. How often have you seen Brody hurt by anybody? Volkov with a cross-arm grip that may or may not be in the throat. I think it's right underneath the chin. I believe it's legal. The referee checks it. Brody and Volkov. Who's the toughest? Oh, Brody goes down with Volkov in command. Nikolai Volkov. He holds so many European records and Russian records. Oh, there's King Kong Brody. You could see on his head there briefly the scars, the battle marks on the head of King Kong Brody. He's used to wars. He's used to coming head-on into Donnybrook, a brawl. And that's just what he has ahead of him here with Nikolai Volkov. The winner here, well, let's be perfectly honest, the winner here, he's going to be in a main event. There's no two ways. This is a main event in any arena, anywhere in the world. A flying tackle, and Volkov stands his ground. Volkov stood his ground from the flying tackle by Brody. They lock up again. Side headlock by Brody. King Kong Brody trying to squeeze that head of Volkov. Control the head, control the body. There's a lot of body on Volkov to control. It's hard to ever remember seeing Brody slam. Volkov has the power not only to slam him, but to deliver that backbreaker. Volkov leans into Brody. Brody pushing in the corner. Volkov with a headbutt into this midsection. Brody and Volkov exchanging kicks. Now forearms, and Brody gouges the eyes. It's not going to be a Sunday school picnic in there. Oh, Volkov all over Brody. Volkov pounding on King Kong Brody. Nikolai Volkov. Brody reverses the whip. Volkov hits the corner. Brody charges it and misses. Oh, Volkov, very agile for somebody who weighs 320 pounds. He's agile for somebody who weighs 230. He got out of the way, and Brody again getting into trouble with Volkov. And I think a lot of the people here in the Checkerdome Sports Studio right now are a little bit surprised. Hey, Volkov's knocking Brody around pretty good.
He's not backing away, I'll tell you that.
He's going right into taking the battle to Brody. Volkov all over Brody. And all those people who are so tied into what King Kong Brody does, so much enthusiastic and emotional about King Kong Brody, I think they're feeling now that their man has met somebody who can go with him blow for blow. Brody fighting back against Volkov. Chop to the throat by Brody. Volkov just won't back up. Like two tanks coming head on into one another. Volkov pitches Brody out of the ring. A kick to the head. Brody crawls onto the apron. Another kick from Nikolai Volkov to King Kong Brody. Brody grabs the leg of Volkov. Volkov and Brody out on the floor. Volkov. Brody grabs him. Oh, look out. Volkov and Brody on the spectators. Volkov tried to run Brody. That was Brody trying to run Volkov. Oh, Brody has a chair. He's going after Volkov. He misses with that chair. The referee's still counting. Brody and Volkov toe-to-toe, head-to-head. Volkov going after the chair. Brody grabs Volkov. The referee calling for the bell. Sure, both men are counted up. We still have a Donnybrook going here. Brody grabs the chair. Brody going after Volkov and misses. Volkov and Brody. A Donnybrook has erupted here. A Donnybrook, a back alley brawl between Brody and Volkov. I'm sure the referee counted both men out of the ring. Lee Warren doing yeoman service, restoring order, getting that chair which is already bent. We have them separated now. I'm sure the official verdict is both men counted out. Let's hear it from Mickey Garagiola.
Both wrestlers in 4 minutes and 53 seconds, both wrestlers have been disqualified.
Lee Warren and Chuck Riley from the Office of Athletics. They're trying to run Brody back. Nikolai, that's enough, Nikolai.
This match, an Australian tag team match, one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Waxahachie, Texas, weighing 271 pounds, Dick Murdoch. From Auckland, New Zealand, weighing 239 pounds, Luke Williams. From Columbus, Georgia, weighing 241 pounds, Jerry Oates. And from Columbus, Georgia, weighing 239 pounds, Marty Oates.
The Oates brothers, Jerry and Marty, making their first St. Louis appearance as a tag team combination. The Oates brothers against Murdoch and Williams. Dick Murdoch relatively quiet at this point. I think he's impressed by the New Zealand flag of Luke Williams. Luke wants everybody to stand up and salute his flag. Just remember this, folks. It takes all kinds. I don't even know if Murdoch knows what to make of it. That's his partner.
couldn't understand what he was saying, he told me.
You understand Luke, he's got a pretty thick brogue. A little feinting over in the other corner by the Oates brothers. Jerry and Marty. Jerry'd love to get in there with Dick. And they want to make sure who's going to start. Jerry finds Marty, this is personal business. What's the matter, you afraid, says Dick Murdoch to Marty Oates. Murdoch and Jerry Oates. Certainly no love lost here at all. Over the last few weeks, they've been at each other tooth and nail. And I'm sure the last chapter in their rivalry has yet to be written. Murdoch eyeing Oates, a little test of wills right there. Murdoch staring into Oates' eyes, and Oates didn't back up an inch. He didn't blink. Murdoch's a master psychologist in that ring. Don't kid yourself for all the yelling and the carrying on. Well, just bizarre things that man does in that ring. He's thinking every second. Watch some of the things he does. Just when you think he's out of control, all of a sudden, oh, here's a perfect takedown. Just when you think he doesn't know what he's doing or what town he's in, here's a perfect defensive move, a perfect sit-out. And right there was a perfect counter by Jerry Oates on Dick Murdoch. Greater St. Louis Wrestling Enterprises certainly delivering the goods. We deliver excitement from the first bell right to the last. And with the very best there are. Don't let anybody tell you different. A lot of people can throw phrases at you and come up with fancy names and phrases. We deliver it where it counts. We don't say it, we do it.
What's in the ring that really counts, Larry? It's not all those phrases. You got to do it in the ring, and boy, we've had some action.
And I don't think anybody who's seen one of the programs presented by Greater St. Louis Wrestling Enterprises ever went home bored or disappointed. They got their money's worth plus. Marty Oates twisting the arm of Dick Murdoch. Marty hooks up the elbow. Murdoch says, "What'd you teach him?" to Jerry Oates. I'm sure what Jerry Oates taught him was, man, if you can pull that arm out of the socket on Dick Murdoch, have at it, brother, have at it. Stepping over, nicely done by Marty Oates, stepping over the man so that he can pull back. The ropes, you see, jerked. Luke Williams started to creep in, and Jerry Oates jiggled the ropes so they bounced against Luke Williams. Going to say, I'm watching you. I got an eye on you. Don't get any ideas. Murdoch pushes Marty Oates to the ropes. Murdoch bangs the elbow into the head of Marty Oates. Flying mare by Dick Murdoch. Murdoch stomps on the face of Marty Oates. Tag made to Luke Williams. Williams locks up the arm of Marty Oates. Williams with a knee drop into the neck.
Murdoch's at it again.
Favoring his arm up there.
He's working.
Hammer locked by Marty Oates. Good move by the youngster. He's been trained well by his older brother. Luke wants to make a tag. A little too far away. They're about 6 or 8 inches away from a tag. Oh, so far. No tag, says referee Ed Warren. The Warren brothers doing the officiating chores this match, to the best referees in the country today. Luke Williams countering nicely. Williams tying up the arm of Marty Oates. Luke Williams fires a forearm into the shoulder of Marty. Tag made to Dick Murdoch. Whoop, wait a minute, where'd that tag rope go? Oh, there it is. Murdoch's got the tag rope, and he's got it on the throat of Marty Oates. Dick Murdoch strangling Marty Oates. Luke Williams and Dick Murdoch double teaming Marty Oates in the corner.
Five minutes of the lap, 10 minutes left.
Murdoch pulling on the hair of Marty Oates. Marty trying to get to Jerry. Tag made to Luke Williams. Luke Williams with a kick into the stomach of Marty Oates. Williams twisting that arm around and slamming a forearm into the shoulder of Marty. Again and again, Williams slamming into the shoulder of Marty Oates. Oh, Williams bending the figures and then scraping them along the top rope. Oates, nice counter. The kid can wrestle. Needs experience. But there's only one way to get that, and that's in the ring with people like Luke Williams and particularly Mr. Murdoch. Williams with a forearm smash. Flying tackle by Luke Williams. Luke Williams, nice leapfrog by Marty Oates. He's waiting. Good move by Marty. Drop kick by Marty Oates sends Williams right out of the ring. And Marty tags his brother Jerry. Hey, that Marty Oates looks all right. Williams almost made it back in, but Jerry Oates was waiting and then took a little move at Dick Murdoch. Murdoch says, I think I'm going to go back and see if the cameras are okay. He's hiding underneath the scaffold. Where'd you go, Dick? Where's that Murdoch? Murdoch's underneath the scaffolding. Where's that man going? He goes any further, he'll be back at the concession stand in the Arena Sports Studio. Oh, here comes Murdoch! That guy's hard to keep track of. Murdoch and Williams double teaming Jerry Oates. Jerry Oates caught in the corner, and Murdoch pops him. Murdoch pulls back on the head of Jerry Oates and then bangs an elbow into the face. Williams hooks the head on Jerry Oates. Murdoch wades in the punch to the midsection and Jerry Oates fights back. The Georgia Greyhound and the Texas Tornado. Oh, Murdoch gets the worst of it. Oates is after Williams. Williams grabs the tights and Murdoch takes full advantage. Headbutt by Murdoch and Oates. I don't know who got the worst of that. I think they both did. Williams with a chop to the throat. Did Luke Williams just try to kiss the referee when the referee came over to ball him out?
That's what it looked like.
The referee, I can understand, has a hard task, but that's asking too much of anybody. Murdoch pitches Jerry Oates out of the ring. Murdoch grabs Marty Oates and rams him into the knee of Luke Williams. Jerry Oates out on the floor. Murdoch sees him. Murdoch going out after him. Look on that far side of the ring. Murdoch stomped on Jerry Oates. Luke Williams puts Marty Oates down. Williams bouncing off the ropes, knee drop into the chest, on the chest, the referee indicating it. Jerry Oates coming back up to the apron. Williams with a backbreaker on Marty Oates. Murdoch going up. Where's he going? He's up on the top rope. Murdoch coming off the top rope, the knee drop to the throat. Oh, deliberate attempt to injure Marty Oates by Murdoch, who then kicks Jerry Oates out of the ring. Murdoch deliberately going after Marty Oates. Here comes Jerry. Here comes Jerry Oates. Here comes Jerry Oates. He's got a chair. He's after Murdoch, and he misses Williams. Jerry Oates coming to the aid of his brother. He's out after Williams. He's out after Murdoch. Murdoch's underneath the scaffolding. Murdoch's practically out of the building. Luke Williams is there on his own. Jerry Oates coming to the aid of his brother. He had no other choice after Dick Murdoch deliberately came off that top rope in an attempt to injure Marty Oates. He was lucky that Marty was squirming around that knee. He could have been badly hurt. Where's Murdoch? Tom Blazinski trying to get a look at Murdoch. I think he's underneath the scaffolding. Jerry Oates and Marty Oates, the Oates brothers, I'm sure have this victory. There's Murdoch. Look at him. Here comes Murdoch creeping out from underneath the camera scaffolding. There's Dick Murdoch. Hey, Jerry Oates is there waiting, and Jerry Oates spots him. Trouble with Dick Murdoch back in town, and as usual, you're right in the middle of things, Dick. But I have to think that you would even admit Jerry Oates got a bit the better of you after that match.
After it was over, he jumped me from behind like the coward it is. You know what, Larry Matisek? It's a pure day's shame that you have to ask a great humanitarian, and Dick Murdoch come from the greatest place in the world, God's country, the great state of Texas, to come up here in the middle of the scum belt of St. Louis, Missouri, where there's nothing but mongoloids and fat, ugly broads like that walking right there. Now, last time I was in St. Louis, everybody hollered, Brody, where is he? Where is he?
With Volkov right now.
Where is he? He ain't here.
That's right.
He's
right.
gutless, he's coward, he's a nothing happening, nothing individual. Now let's get to October 29th. Killer Carl Cox.
Your teacher.
The man that taught me the brain buster, but I perfected it. Against Jerry Oates and Scott Casey. Well, about 90% of the women in here could have flew in on this broom. But I bought it because I'm going to clean up
and sweep out your wrestling operation here, Larry Matasak, because you need help.
Help?
You need help. You've got a bunch of nothing-happening people, especially, look at her, look out there, look.
How can you complain about the caliber of people here? You know Jerry Oates' reputation, and you know Scott Casey's reputation. Those are two excellent wrestlers.
Let me say one thing about Jerry Oates. If it happens to be, and he ever puts a spinning toe hold on you, he could definitely bust your leg, and you'd be out a while.
He's done it to other people.
That's right. I know Jerry Oates' credibilities. I know Scott Casey's credibilities. You wouldn't have them here if they wasn't the greatest. They're not over here on the other side. They're with you.
Right.
Now, let's get one thing straight, Larry Matasak. Who held the Missouri Championship belt more than anyone?
You did.
All right. Who has defeated Harley Race? Jack Briscoe. You name who else. Dick the Bruiser. I beat them all, didn't I?
I'm almost expecting you someday to claim the world heavyweight
I'm
title.
claiming it right now.
You're claiming the world title?
I'm claiming I can beat Larry Holmes. I already whipped one in Kansas City at a bar, a professional fighter. I'll whip Jerry Oates October 29th, Halloween day.
A little bit early, but we'll take it.
It'll be Halloween. Please, people, look at the fast hair I got on him. Look at her face. Look at her. You got Fat Albert already sitting over there.
And I assume that means you're also not running from somebody like, say, Brody?
Is he here? Is he here?
No, he's not.
Who else is here that I can wrestle? You name them.
Do you have any predictions for what will happen between Brody and Volkov?
Brody probably won't even show up. He's not here now. I heard what he said last time. He says, "Where's Murdoch?" Well, I'm here. I was relaxing.
Well, first things
Watching
first.
great United Texas Longhorns, #2 team in the nation, and the great Dallas Cowboys, undefeated.
Take your broom. Hang on to your broom. Maybe you can use that
29th.
October 29th.
I don't need this.
You don't need it?
No, I'm going to let you and them. Well, this broom couldn't carry her, but I'll definitely guarantee you 90% of these people will be flying in on this because they're too ugly to walk the streets.
You save your broom. Maybe you can use it the 29th. We'll be back with more. Thank you, Dick Murdoch.
Quite a toughness. Brody and Murdoch. Everything you expected it would be. Brody coming back slowly to the ring, carefully to the ring, hoping that his legs back. Oh, Murdoch's face, a mask of blood. A mask of blood on Dick Murdoch. Staggering to the ring. Brody sees it now like a shark right to the face. That big kick from King Kong Brody, his legs, he wants to stay limber because he knows now's the chance, now's the time. Can he put Dick Murdoch away, booting him right out of the ring. Murdoch bleeding. Murdoch now being challenged as never before in this showdown between King Kong Brody and Dick Murdoch in Tokyo, Japan. Brody waiting. He doesn't want to blow it with a disqualification here, but he knows he wants to take advantage. Off the ropes. Another kick to the head. How often has Dick Murdoch been kicked in the head during this match by King Kong Brody? Another kick. Oh, look, I went up in the air and came down on top the boot, nearly knocking Murdoch's noggin right off his shoulders. Looked like a football going 30 yards with a punt. Brody, knowing Murdoch's in trouble, let's finish the job right here. Brody hooks the head, going for the suplex. This time he gets him up and down. The suplex by King Kong Brody on the bloody Dick Murdoch. Where's Brody going? Brody going outside the ring. Murdoch still stunned. Brody reaching around for one of the press tables at ringside. You never know with King Kong Brody. And keep in mind, in Japan, quite often the matches were pretty wide open. The rules weren't quite as strictly as enforced over there as they were sometimes in the United States or in St. Louis. Brody with that table up there, but Murdoch moving behind Brody. Murdoch moving into Brody with a punch. Don't ever count Dick Murdoch out. Oh, he grabs Brody and rams Brody's head right into the press table. Dick Murdoch, he's a little lost. He's not sure who he's punching against, but he knows when he sees that big head of hair, he wants to grab it and run it into something, either his fist or that table. Murdoch stomping on the head. Now it's Murdoch kicking King Kong Brody right in the face. Murdoch kicking King Kong Brody right in the head. Grabs him again and rams him right into the press table. King Kong Brody lifted into the air. Greco-Roman back body drop. Shades of Luthez by Dick Murdoch. The bloody Dick Murdoch trying to cover King Kong Brody. And I think Brody's bleeding now too from those kicks to the head. It looks like both men are bleeding, Brody and Murdoch. Brody wouldn't stay down. He was out by the count of 2. Yes, there's Brody. He's bleeding too on the side of the head from when he tried to turn his head and avoid that press table. He didn't avoid it. Oh, flying cross body block by King Kong Brody. Count of 1, 2, and not 3. How often did you ever see King Kong Brody unleash a flying crossbody block? He couldn't put Dick Murdoch away. Brody and Murdoch, here they come. Drop kick, double drop kick, and they both miss. Brody and Murdoch both trying drop kicks simultaneously. They'd both been successful with it before. They tried it there and they both missed. The bloody King Kong Brody and equally bloody Dick Murdoch having missed that double drop kick. A punch to the head. Brody and Murdoch on their knees, pounding on each other. Brody, Murdoch, neither man will bend an inch. Oh, blows landing at the same time. The referee tried to get in. Murdoch flattened the referee. Brody with a punch to the head of Murdoch. Neither man will quit. The referee floored that time. Knocked away by King Kong Brody. The referee calling for a bell. The ringside attendants coming into the ring to try to help the referee, and Murdoch drops him. It's just like two pit bulls in a fight. When somebody tries to break up their fight, they throw out the peacemakers. People trying to get in and break up Brody and Murdoch clearing the ring. They want each other. Stay out of the way. This is our fight. It's not your fight. It's our fight. King Kong Brody and Dick Murdoch, toe to toe, nose to nose, the blood flowing from both men, Brody and Murdoch. Neither man giving 1 inch. And what else would you expect as the people try to break it up from ringside? Other wrestlers, preliminary wrestlers, officials, Brody and Murdoch fighting so hard to get at each other. Brody and Murdoch, what did you expect, folks? It was a Donnybrook. King Kong Brody, Dick Murdoch. How will they ever quit? I don't think they ever will, because Brody and Murdoch, neither one, and you know it in St. Louis, neither one knew the meaning of the word quit.